Why your EQ matters more than your IQ, the secret to achieving your goals. Have you ever considered what makes someone a leader or gets them hired, promoted, or followed? It isn't always what you think. It's not necessarily their IQ, for example. It's not necessarily their grades. It's not their credentials. Those are just cost of entry. Without them, there's no success. But having them doesn't guarantee success either. But first, a story. During World War II, the US Air Force had a big problem. Their bombers were being shot out of the sky by the Germans' deadly combination of ground-to-air defenses and Luftwaffe fighters. The American bombers were simply too big to escape and too heavy to be fully armored for the long flight from England's airfields to Germany's targets and back. The Air Force brass needed to know where to add small amounts of protected armor that could make a difference. They brought in John von Neumann, possibly the most brilliant mathematician of the 20th century, a Hungarian Jewish immigrant who had helped invent the atom bomb, digital computing, game theory, chaos theory, and even the idea of artificial intelligence. Von Neumann was the kind of genius who could take complex math problems that people had worked on for years and solve them in minutes. They walked von Neumann through the airfields packed with shot-up planes. Each was marked with red and yellow X's, showing exactly where enemy fire had hit it. Von Neumann studied the planes, all of them, quietly, slowly. When he was done, he pointed to a blank spot on the side of one of the airplanes, a spot with no X's at all, and said, "That's where the armor needs to go." The air marshal was furious. "There? Why there?" He motioned across the entire field of aircraft. "That spot hasn't been hit once on any of these planes." Von Neumann replied calmly, "Exactly, because these are the planes that made it back." What had happened to the other ones, the ones that weren't in the field? They were at the bottom of the English Channel or littered across the European countryside. That's what true intelligence looks like. Not just raw brain power, but insight into using the data. But just like intelligence, even insight has its limits, because in business, in leadership, and in life, people don't behave like airplanes. They don't follow logic. And that's where EQ beats IQ every time. What matters is their EQ, emotional intelligence, empathy, listening, purpose, persuasion. At a talk I gave recently for the Chapman Graduate School of Business at Florida International University, I asked my students to list authentic leadership traits while I scribbled them on the whiteboard. Listening, empathy, purpose, vision, adaptability, communication, resilience, confidence, and so on. By the way, intelligence was listed, but it was number 14. As for the other 19 attributes, not one of them came from a textbook. It's not just about being smart. It's about seeing things differently, thinking differently, understanding people and situations and ways that data alone won't reveal, and then knowing what to do to motivate those people. Sure, smarts matter, but their cost of entry. What separates the few from the many? Not what they can do, but who they are. Think about your favorite sports team, your country, your religion. You may not have thought of it this way before, but each is a consumer-focused brand with a logo, a tagline, and a belief system. That's what people buy into, and that's what people follow. The same goes for you and your business. People don't choose what you do, they choose who you are. If you want to make sure your audience sees your very best version of that, I can help. I keynote at conferences around the world, and I still have a few open dates for 2025. If your event needs a speaker who will entertain, educate, and enlighten your audience, let's talk. You can learn more at my website.